Item Number, SCP-Y-025. Object Class, Keter. Special Containment Procedures. Due to SCP-Y-025's mimetic nature and its rapid dissemination across digital platforms, conventional containment methods are currently unfeasible. Foundation operatives are tasked with monitoring high-traffic social media sites, video sharing platforms, and music forums, including Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, and Reddit, for new instances of SCP-Y-025. Advanced web crawlers and AI-based detection algorithms are utilized to flag and assess videos suspected of containing SCP-Y-025. Attempts to remove or censor SCP-Y-025 are to be comprehensively documented, despite the peculiar effects on personnel involved in these efforts. Individuals exposed to SCP-Y-025 display acute memory loss regarding their mission objectives and exhibit pronounced rock and roll euphoria, diminishing their perception of the urgency of containment. Re-education and mimetic resistance training are compulsory for these personnel, although the efficacy of these measures is limited. Research into the mimetic properties of SCP-Y-025 continues, with an emphasis on developing a deeper understanding of its influence on cognitive processes. Personnel tasked with engaging SCP-Y-025 are mandated to undergo regular psychological evaluations and enhanced mimetic resistance training. Description: SCP-Y-025, known informally as earworm, is a mimetic anomaly manifesting as music videos, each less than a minute long, that circulate across various internet platforms. These videos incorporate sensitive SCP Foundation information, such as SCP designations, containment procedures, and classified incidents, interwoven with highly engaging and addictive musical compositions. The severity of the information leak contrasts sharply with the behavior of Foundation personnel exposed to SCP-Y-025. Affected individuals report an intense enjoyment of the music and a significant decrease in concern regarding the confidential data disclosed. This results in a euphoric state and apathy toward the breach of information, posing a substantial threat to operational security. Efforts to remove SCP-Y-025 from the internet lead to immediate and profound memory loss among personnel, coupled with a heightened state of euphoria. These individuals downplay the importance of removing SCP-Y-025 content, referring to it as not worth silencing a rock star. This effect persists despite multiple exposures to counter-mimetic strategies and rigorous re-education. Incident Report Y-025-A. On July 2, 2000, a coordinated effort was made to expunge SCP-Y-025 from major video sharing sites. Initial success was quickly undermined as all personnel involved experienced sudden amnesia regarding their objectives. Furthermore, many expressed admiration for the irresistible beat of the music. Affected individuals were promptly reassigned and subjected to further psychological evaluations and mimetic resistance training. Research Log Y-025-B. Dr. Marcus Bell conducted a series of experiments to analyze SCP-Y-025's mimetic properties. SCP-Y-025's videos possess an exceptionally addictive musical quality. Exposure results in immediate cognitive dissonance concerning the severity of the leaked information. Repeated exposure bolsters individual resistance to conventional mimetic countermeasures. Addendum Y-025-3. Audio Form Analysis. A thorough study was conducted to dissect the audio composition of SCP-Y-025's music, comparing its effects to the physiological responses humans exhibit when experiencing chills or goosebumps during peak moments of their favorite songs. Functional MRI scans of subjects exposed to SCP-Y-025 revealed strikingly similar patterns of neural activity. The auditory cortex, reward circuitry, and regions associated with emotional processing lit up identically as in subjects listening to personally cherished music. The data suggests SCP-Y-025's music triggers a profound and primal pleasure response, deeply intertwined with the human appreciation for rhythm and melody. Addendum Y-025-5, Testing Log Y-025-D, Test 1, Date July 13, 2000 Subject D7834, male, 34 years old, no prior significant musical interest. Procedure: D7834 was exposed to a 15-second loop of SCP-Y-025's music in a soundproof chamber. The loop was played at a moderate volume, and the subject's psychological and physiological responses were monitored. Results: 0 to 5 minutes, D7834 initially exhibited confusion, but quickly showed signs of enjoyment, tapping his foot in time with the beat. When questioned, the subject described the music as catchy and better than expected. 5 to 15 minutes, D7834's enjoyment increased noticeably, and he began to hum along with the melody. Despite being instructed to remain seated, the subject stood up and started to sway to the rhythm. 15 to 30 minutes. The subject's engagement with the music intensified, expressing a desire to hear more. D7834 requested to listen to the full track rather than the looped segment, showing an uncharacteristic enthusiasm for music. 30 to 60 minutes. D7834 began expressing opinions about the music's quality, stating, "This is really something special," and asking if the track was available on any streaming platforms. By the end of the hour, D7834 was fully immersed in the music, displaying an increased sense of euphoria and a near-obsessive need to continue listening. Conclusion: exposure to SCP-Y-025's music rapidly increased. D7834's appreciation for music, evolving from mild interest to intense enthusiasm within an hour. The test was terminated after 60 minutes to prevent prolonged exposure, but the subject exhibited withdrawal-like symptoms, including irritability and distress when the music was stopped. Test 2, date July 14, 2000. Subject D9912, female, 26 years old, professional musician. Procedure: D9912 was exposed to SCP-Y-025's music in a soundproof chamber for 2 hours, with regular psychological assessments throughout the exposure period. Results: 0 to 10 minutes, D9912 immediately responded positively to the music, describing it as incredible and mind-blowing. She began analyzing the composition, praising its complexity and emotional impact. 10 to 30 minutes. The subject's admiration grew, and she began to speculate on the techniques used to produce such a perfect piece of music. D9912 became increasingly animated, moving around the room and discussing potential collaborations with the artist behind the music, despite knowing it was an anomaly. 30 to 60 minutes. D9912 displayed an almost reverential attitude towards the music, expressing a desire to learn from it and incorporate its style into her own work. Her speech became more rapid and excited, indicating heightened enjoyment and creative inspiration. 60 to 120 minutes. By the end of the exposure, D9912 was in an almost trance-like state, entirely absorbed in the music. She expressed a profound emotional connection to the piece, describing it as the pinnacle of musical achievement. Post-exposure, D9912 experienced significant distress, repeatedly asking to hear the music again and showing signs of psychological dependency. Conclusion: SCP-Y-025's music had an even more pronounced effect on a subject with a professional background in music, rapidly escalating from appreciation to obsession. The subject's reaction suggests that SCP-Y-025's influence may be more potent in individuals with pre-existing musical expertise or passion. Test 3. Date: July 15, 2000. Subjects: Group of 5 D-Class personnel, D45121, D6219, D3338, D8991, D57734. Procedure: the group was exposed to SCP-Y-025's music in a communal setting for an extended period of 4 hours. The goal was to observe the collective impact on group dynamics and social behavior. Results: 0 to 15 minutes. Initial reactions varied, with some subjects expressing enjoyment and others indifference. The group dynamic remained normal, with standard small talk and minimal interaction focused on the music. 15 to 60 minutes. As time progressed, all subjects began to engage with the music, commenting on its quality and sharing their thoughts. The music quickly became the central focus of conversation, with subjects exchanging increasingly enthusiastic opinions. 60 to 120 minutes. The group dynamic shifted towards a collaborative effort to enjoy the music fully. Subjects began encouraging one another to dance, sing along, and mimic instruments. There was a noticeable increase in group cohesion and mutual appreciation for the music. 120 to 240 minutes. By the end of the session, the group was fully immersed in the experience, displaying behavior akin to a social gathering or concert. The subjects exhibited euphoric behavior, including spontaneous dancing and group sing-alongs, despite the repetitive nature of the music. Post-exposure, the group expressed a desire to form a band and replicate the experience, indicating a deep, shared bond formed through the music. Conclusion: SCP-Y-025's music fosters a strong sense of community and shared euphoria among groups, enhancing social bonds through collective appreciation of the music. The test also highlighted SCP-Y-025's ability to dominate social interactions and group dynamics, creating a feedback loop of increasing engagement and mutual enthusiasm. Test 4. Date: July 16, 2000. Subject D7721, male, 45 years old, previously diagnosed with severe amusia, a condition characterized by an inability to recognize or reproduce musical tones. Procedure: D7721 was exposed to SCP-Y-025's music in a soundproof chamber for 1 hour, with a focus on evaluating its effects on a subject with minimal inherent musical appreciation. Results: 0 to 10 minutes. D7721 exhibited confusion and slight irritation, describing the music as noise and expressing discomfort. The subject's physical responses included increased heart rate and signs of anxiety. 10 to 30 minutes. Despite initial resistance, D7721's hostility towards the music began to diminish. The subject gradually stopped complaining and started tapping his fingers rhythmically, though he remained largely disinterested. 30 to 60 minutes. By the end of the hour, D7721 exhibited unexpected behavior for someone with amusia. The subject attempted to hum along with the melody, albeit off-key, and described the music as not so bad after all. There was a noticeable, albeit muted, increase in his enjoyment of the sound. Conclusion: SCP-Y-025's music can exert influence even on individuals with severe amusia, overcoming neurological barriers to musical appreciation. Although the effect was less pronounced, it suggests that SCP-Y-025 possesses the ability to alter fundamental cognitive processes related to music perception. Incident Report Y025-C. On July 1, 2000, an anomalous event was reported at Site Y1, characterized by music spontaneously playing through the facility's PA system. The music, described as an electrifying fusion of rock, metal, and psychedelic styles, began emanating from various speakers across the site. Notably, when power was shut down in specific sections to silence the music, it would instantly relocate to speakers in other parts of the facility. Researcher Barnaby Oswald observed that the music's movement was not random, but appeared to shift in a specific direction each time power was cut. By analyzing the pattern of its relocation, Oswald hypothesized that the music was converging towards a central point within Site Y1. In response, personnel systematically deactivated the power in a controlled manner, including backup generators in non-essential areas, to pinpoint the origin. The trail led to server room A7X, where a group of researchers and security personnel encountered an extraordinary sight. Within the room, an entity was flickering as if displayed on an old television screen. Each individual present reported seeing a different vision. Some described a dragon-like creature playing a guitar with such intensity that it conjured lightning. Others saw a flaming skeleton furiously drumming. Several mentioned a demon passionately singing into a microphone. A few even perceived fellow Site-Y-1 researchers performing as a band. Despite the varying descriptions, all witnesses agreed that the music was irresistibly captivating, described as hellishly divine. Zeta-Zero operative Sonny Boy, maintaining focus on containment, attempted to physically engage the entity by tackling it. However, as Sonny Boy approached, the entity dissipated, transforming into a stream of electricity that entered an outlet in the server room. This action caused the entire facility to repower instantaneously. Following this event, SCP-Y-025's music resumed, broadcasting at high volume throughout Site-Y-1. The anomalous music significantly amplified its mimetic effects, leading to an outbreak of uninhibited celebration among the personnel. Researchers and security staff alike succumbed to a euphoric state, forming impromptu dance parties and mosh pits across the site. The absence of regular reports and communication from Site-Y-1 for 3 days prompted the SCP Foundation to dispatch special agents to investigate. Upon arrival, the agents discovered the entire site in a state of disarray, with personnel strewn about, suffering from severe hangovers, and widespread complaints of migraines and body aches due to prolonged dancing. This incident revealed that Site-Y-1 staff had been under the influence of SCP-Y-025's mimetic effects, engaging in continuous revelry until they were incapacitated by exhaustion. This is Special Agent Eli Griffin, signing off as temporary director, as Director Knightley is currently recovering from his hangover. I hope you'll consider subscribing to stay up to date with Site-Y-1's findings, though it's likely best to ignore their opinions on SCP-Y-025, or perhaps music in general. I'm sure Knightley looks forward to having your audience in future reports.